What if Star Wars was never really about space? What if the Force was actually about you, about your mind, your emotions, your identity, your nervous system? Because hidden inside Star Wars is one of the greatest manifestation teachings ever put into popular culture. And I believe George Lucas did it on purpose. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you may never hear the words, "May the Force be with you," the same way again. The most important lesson is not about Luke Skywalker. It's about Darth Vader. Because the dark side is not evil. The dark side is fear. Most people think manifestation means think positive, wish harder, imagine what you want. But Star Wars teaches something very different. The Force is not something you control. It is something you align with. Obi-Wan said, "The Force surrounds us and penetrates us. It binds the galaxy together." It sounds a lot like the invisible field that shapes your life, your attention, your beliefs, your emotions, your expectations, your identity. You are already manifesting. The question is, from what state? Because your life tends to reflect what you repeatedly think, feel, expect, and act like. This isn't motivation. This is an operating system, and you are the operator. State leads to repetition, to identity, to reality. That is the Force. Luke fails at first because he keeps looking outside himself. He wants proof. He wants certainty. He wants the targeting computer. And then Obi-Wan tells him to turn it off. Trust the Force. That is one of the deepest teachings in Star Wars, because most people live their lives with a targeting computer on. They keep checking. Is it working? Do I have proof? What if it fails? What if I'm wrong? But manifestation does not begin when you see it. It begins when you become it. Identity isn't declared, it's repeated. Luke only changes when he stops trying to control every outcome and begins to embody a new state. Not panic, not desperation, calm, trust, clarity. This is why calm is a skill. Because a regulated nervous system can hear what fear cannot. Regulate first, decide second. And now we come to the real secret of Star Wars, the dark side. Yoda said, "Fear leads to anger, anger leads to hate, hate leads to suffering." This is not just philosophy. This is nervous system science. Fear narrows perception. Fear makes you reactive. Fear makes you desperate to control. And when you create from fear, you usually create more of the thing you're afraid of. This is exactly what happened to Anakin Skywalker. He was terrified of loss, terrified of losing, terrified of pain, terrified of uncertainty. And because he could not let go, he became the very thing he feared. How many people do the same thing? They fear rejection, so they become needy. They fear failure, so they never begin. They fear being broke, so they make desperate decisions. They fear not being enough, so they spend their entire lives proving. The dark side is not evil. The dark side is survival mode. The dark side is trying to force reality from fear. And that never works for long. Because fear may create motion, but it does not create peace. The Jedi understood something deeper. Power does not come from force. Power comes from state. The Jedi trained their mind, their breathing, their emotions, their reactions. Not because they wanted to become passive, because they wanted to become powerful. A Jedi can stand in chaos and remain calm. That is real power. Pressure is not danger. You do not rise to your goal. you return to your baseline. So if your baseline is fear, you will keep recreating fear. But if your baseline becomes calm, clarity, certainty, then life begins to change because your state changes your decisions. Your decisions change your actions. Your actions change your identity, and your identity changes your life. Yoda gave perhaps the greatest manifestation lesson in all of Star Wars. Do or do not. There is no try. Most people think trying means effort, but usually trying is an identity. Trying means maybe, sort of, I hope, I'll see. Trying is acting while secretly expecting failure. Doing is different. Doing means this is who I am now. I don't hope, I operate. This is why manifestation is not about getting what you want. It is about becoming the person who naturally creates it. People do not get what they want, they get what they repeatedly act like. The cave scene on Dagobah is another hidden lesson. Luke enters the cave. He fights Darth Vader. Spoiler alert. And when he cuts off Vader's mask, he sees his own face. That is the whole secret. The thing you are fighting is often inside you. Your fear, your doubt, your old identity, your old conditioning, your old story. The real battle is not out there. It is within. And until you face that, you will keep meeting the same lesson in different forms. So this, May the 4th, remember what Star Wars was really teaching all along. The Force is an invisible field of your thoughts, emotions, attention, and identity. The light side is alignment. The dark side is fear. The Jedi path is training your nervous system and identity. And manifestation is not about controlling the universe. It is about becoming congruent with the life you want. You are already manifesting. The only question is, are you manifesting from fear or from the Force? If this video helped you see Star Wars in a completely different way, comment below. May the Force be with me. And tell me, what part of Star Wars do you think holds the deepest truth about life? Go in love and peace, with wisdom and understanding. Enjoy this day. And know the Force is with you. It has always been, and it always will be.